Welcome everyone, it's Janice here. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. So someone has asked me to do them a few coasters with the resin bloom, and they want them all different. So I'm going to do a step-by-step video again because there's still many people that are commenting that they're just struggling with their blooms. So I'm going to just try and go through it really step by step so that everyone that is trying to do a bloom just has some success. So obviously make sure you've got some gloves on and make sure that your mold is totally level. If it's not level, your bloom is not going to be nicely centered. And I've got 60 grams of resin. It's a 1-to-1 resin. I've got some ocean white pigment paste here. You can also use a white titanium acrylic paint. I have used that before and it works as well. And I've got some alcohol inks. So my resin has been standing now for 15 minutes. And I'm just decanting a little bit. And I'm going to add 2 drops of the white pigment paste. I'm going to mix it well and I'm going to put it into a piping bag. And I'm just going to wait a few more minutes until I hit the 20-minute mark, and then I will pour the rest of the resin into the mold. Now the reason that I wait 20 minutes is because I'm waiting for my resin to heat up. Now your resin might be different to my resin. So you may have to let your resin stand for 15 minutes. All resins are different. So my advice to you is use small coaster molds when you're trying your first blooms. And try your resin maybe at 15 minutes to start with. If it doesn't work, go up to 20 minutes. You know, it might even be 12 minutes that your resin has to stand for, but it needs to be warm. So you can see on my clock here, I've reached my 20-minute mark. And I found 20 minutes works for my resin. Now the reason you have to let your resin heat up is because when you pour it into your mold now, you're pouring it into a larger surface. And the mold is cool. So your resin starts to contract towards the center. And that's what pulls your inks in, and it pulls your white pigment paste that is going to form your petals in. So you can see how my ink is spreading nicely there. So my resin is at a good temperature. So you can see even how the pink has gone right up to the edge. But you will see when it starts pulling in towards the center, there'll be a gap around the edge of it. You'll see later on in the video how it all starts pulling in. So I'm going to take my pigment paste now in my little piping bag, and I'm just going to start making a little pattern, and those are going to form my petals. Now when you get a bit of a blob, try and pull just stop and get a toothpick and try and pull that blob out, because you don't want it sinking to the bottom. So when you demold it, you're going to have a real white solid blob in your bloom. So just try and pull out anything that blobs. And also when you on your piping bag, just, you know, you don't need a big cut. When you cut the end off, you don't need to make a big hole. Rather start off small. And then I'm just doing a little swirl in the middle. And what I've done is I've put it on a hyperlapse now. And you can see how it's pulling in. You can see how the pink is pulled in, and you can see how the petals are forming. And then what I did just before it had cured 100%, I took a holographic fine glitter and I sprinkled the glitter over the top, and then I let it cure. So the glitter is now stuck to that. This was the glitter I used. It's very fine and it's got a holographic look to it. And I just find that it's better than putting it into my black, because I just find that the glitter often pulls towards the center as well as the resin is curing. So with me sprinkling it on top of that slightly sticky resin, it really sticks, and when you demold, you can see it nicely. And then I just used my heat gun, took the bubbles out, covered it, and left it overnight. So this is the first look of it. And I'm fairly happy with it. And you can see I've taken some other pictures as well of the coaster in the natural light outside. And you really get a lovely sparkle from that holographic glitter. I think you can see there's two tiny blobs there. Now it's just that I didn't pull those out. I didn't see them. I hope it's helped. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope I've explained it. And that, when you try, you're successful. And thank you for watching.